So, what does it really mean to be smart? Is it the grades on a report card? The ability to solve equations quickly? For most of my life, I thought that's what defined intelligence. And because I wasn't that person, I thought I didn't measure up to it. I remember sitting in class, watching the kids who got the top marks, wondering if I'd ever be like them. And I wasn't, and honestly, I'm still not. For years, I believed that made me less. But slowly, I began to realize something. Maybe being the smartest in the room isn't what matters the most. Maybe the kind of intelligence that truly matters to people isn't measured in numbers. It's the kind that doesn't just come from the head, but from the heart. Because yes, grades matter, they create opportunities, and they can put lines on a resume. But they don't define the kind of friend you are, the way you make someone feel less alone, or the way you can calm a room when tensions rise. Emotional intelligence is what brings out the real essence of being a human being. Because at the end of the day, people won't remember your report card, but they will remember your heart. I can recall a vivid memory from my childhood, that the one that has never left me. A strange man came knocking at my aunt's door, asking for money with a sheet of paper, saying that he had a disability and he couldn't speak, and he couldn't pay for his medical treatment. She didn't know him, he was a complete stranger, but without hesitation, she gave him money. Her son criticized her for being so gullible, saying that he could have lied so easily, why would you just give away money like that? And my aunt replied with words that shaped the way I see kindness forever. She replied with, "So what? I did my part in doing good. If he's dishonest, that's on him, but I did my part." That moment has stuck with me, not because of the money that she gave, but because of the mindset. My aunt taught me that compassion is never wasted. Choosing kindness, even when it's inconvenient, even when it may never be returned. I grew up watching my aunt live with so much quiet strength. She wasn't someone people noticed right away, but when you really paid attention to her, you could see how she carried others with kindness. How she listened without judgment, and how she could walk into a room and sense who needed comfort without a single word being said. And I think that's where my emotional intelligence began, by watching her, by seeing how compassion can be more powerful than brilliance. Because the truth is, I haven't always been the best at anything measurable, but one thing I've always been proud of is my ability to understand and to empathize. Whether it's a close friend or a complete stranger, or someone decades older or younger, I've always been that person people can open up to. For a while, I didn't know what it meant, but now I think I do. It means my emotional intelligence, my ability to sense, to understand, and be there for someone is my strength. And honestly, it's the part of me that I'm the most proud of. Even though some people might call me too emotional or too sensitive, I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Because who would I be without my heart? And who would I be if I couldn't resonate with the most vulnerable feelings people have? And emotional intelligence isn't just about big dramatic moments, it's in the little choices that we make every day. It's when you notice a friend sitting quietly at lunch with eyes watery, and instead of pointing it out and making a joke, you just, be present for them and ask them if they're okay. It's when someone trips in the hallway and you choose not to laugh and look away because you know it feels humiliating. It's when your best friend vents about a breakup and instead of giving advice, you just sit with them in silence, letting them feel heard. It's when you know someone has a crush and they get embarrassed in class. Emotional intelligence is choosing not to make fun of them in front of everyone, even though it would have gotten you laughs. Instead, you protect them from the embarrassment because you know how you would have felt in that situation. Or when you notice a quiet kid who doesn't get a say in the group, you bring them into the conversation by asking them, "Hey, what do you think?" That simple act of making space for someone else, that's EQ. Emotional intelligence shows up in love, in friendship, in how we handle awkward moments. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present and making choices that value someone's feelings as much as your own. The small instinctive choices that make someone else feel seen, safe, respected, that's EQ. I felt this most clearly during my elections for student council as I ran for vice president. I was new in the school and I had just joined in 11th grade, so I wasn't as confident in myself as I would have been in my old school. I doubted myself because when you think about campaigns, you can imagine flashy posters and creative slogans and videos. I chose connection and communication as my way of campaigning. I went from dorm to dorm, talking to students one-on-one and asked them what they cared about, what they wanted to change, and I promised them that I'd carry those concerns forward. At that time, I thought I wasn't doing enough, and when the elections result neared, I was nervous because I thought I hadn't put myself out there enough. But in the end, I won. And I realized why. It wasn't because of flashy posters or creative slogans. It was because people felt heard, people felt seen. And that mattered more than anything else. That moment showed me the power of emotional intelligence and that leadership is not about being the loudest in the room, it's being the one who listens. And it's just not me. Harvard Business Review found that 90% of top performers at work have high EQ. Even people with higher EQ earn an average of $29,000 more per year. Research has shown that EQ is a better predictor of success than intelligence quotient or technical skills. Individuals with high EQ focus on the positive, listen before making decisions, admit mistakes, show empathy, and deal appropriately with negative emotions. And it's just not, okay, sorry. So yes, IQ matters, it might open the door, but it's EQ that keeps you in the room. As Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And the best part about EQ, that it's not fixed. It's something that you can build over time and something that you can make stronger by practicing. So here are some ways that you can build your EQ. Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath before you snap. Practice empathy by asking yourself, how would I feel if I were in their shoes? Listen to understand, not just to reply. Reflect on your feelings at the end of the day. So if intelligence is measured in numbers and test scores, how do we measure compassion, kindness, empathy, the things that make us human? Maybe we measure it in the friendships that we keep, in the trust we build, and in the people who feel safe enough to cry in front of us, knowing that we won't judge them. IQ might help you solve equations, but EQ helps you solve problems of the heart. And in the end, the smartest person in the room isn't the one with the highest IQ. It's the one who makes others feel valued, understood, and loved. And that's the kind of smart I want to be. And that's something every single one of us can choose to be. Thank you.